Hi everyone, my name is Emma Dunn. I am in Group 8 and I am a student in Professor Bell's environmental health class. I didn't exactly record an entire video of myself for this assignment. I instead decided to narrate a PowerPoint presentation, but I figured I'd include a little introduction video of myself so you guys at least know who's talking to you. So I thank you for listening and I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and on to the presentation. The title of my presentation is The Health Effects of High-Density Traffic, specifically in the South End community of Albany, New York, as you all know. I started off with listing some learning objectives for this presentation. So the first is to understand traffic-related exposures and their effects. Second is to recognize high-density traffic as a real public health risk. Third is to focus on carbon dioxide, which is the particular exposure I chose to study for this assignment. Fourth is to understand the negative health effects as a result of high-density traffic, as well as who is in danger and why. And finally, we have efforts taken to prevent the problem. Here I ask the question why high-density traffic is a problem. For one, it increases traffic-related exposures in surrounding areas. The traffic-related exposure, as defined by the Health Effects Institute, is the term used to refer to exposure to primary emissions from motor vehicles, rather than the more broadly dispersed secondary pollutants such as ozone. I also said that high-density traffic produces large quantities of toxic emissions, leading to a rise in air pollution. Air pollution is already a pre-existing issue in public health, as we know, so this is very important. Negative health effects are associated with the accumulation of pollutants, and high-density traffic can also impact the safety of younger populations. I am focusing on carbon dioxide concentration due to high-density traffic, which has proven itself to be very problematic. Carbon dioxide emissions have been a problem in our environment for years, infamously known for depleting our ozone layer and being the largest contributor to global warming. According to the CDC, motor vehicles contribute to more than 50% of air pollution in urban areas, so it is no secret these emissions have been harming communities like the South End worldwide. According to the Health Effects Institute panel, short exposures to traffic emissions had a causal association between cardiovascular diseases and asthma. HEI also says that residents within 300 to 500 meters of major roadways are at the highest risk for traffic-related exposures. I believe this second statement is very important because if you think about your friends and family, how many of them fit this description? In urban areas, highways and mass transportation is hard to avoid. Now we ask how this all relates to the South End of Albany. So here's what we know. The city of Albany is a densely populated urban center. The community of the South End is surrounded by roadways, railways, and is neighboring the Port of Albany. The South End is a low-income residency. Why does this matter? All demographics are susceptible to the effects of high-density traffic, specifically children, low-income populations, and those with pre-existing medical conditions. High-density traffic is also not limited to emissions released by cars, but emissions are also released by buses, trains, and ships. And we all know that buses, trains, and ships are very much present in the South End community, which is why this is such a problem. Community design also plays a significant role in the amount of traffic-related exposures, and this quotation by the CDC really stood out to me when I was doing my research. People who reside in urban centers such as Albany rely heavily on public transportation as well. So moving on with the presentation, I included some prevention efforts. According to the CDC, a few high-density traffic prevention efforts include encouraging the usage of mass transit in densely populated areas such as Albany, even in Manhattan or any metropolitan area. We have promoting the use of electric and low-emission vehicles as included by the CDC. And we have the introduction of policies that limit or restrict new development in close vicinities to known heavy traffic areas. Moving on to the final portion of my presentation is the broader significance. The prevention efforts listed previously may not be fitting for every citizen. Those immobilized in both the physical and financial aspect may not be able to drive or even travel using public transportation, and communities similar to the South End are forced to adapt to the changing and growing world around them, and they might not have much control on that. And high-density traffic affects all demographics. Also, just a general awareness can improve quality of life of the South End residents as well as any of those living in close vicinity to any urban area, and an improvement of air quality in these urban areas can definitely be beneficial for its residents. That appears to be all I can fit into this 5-minute window, but I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your days to listen to this presentation. I hope it was informative, and I hope you're able to learn a thing or two about the topic. So, thank you.